Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. To this day.
Nino Brown Boxing, and I'm back in the building. Shout out to the LDBC. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. So, we have a fight card this weekend. We have Erislandy Lara versus Greg Vendetti in the main event. I'm not even going to fake and act like I know anything about Greg Vendetti because I don't. But, at the same time, they both made weight, so it's definitely a card that I'm going to tune in for. If you don't know, Nino Brown Boxing's favorite division is 154 pounds. Now, even though I expect for Erislandy Lara to come out victorious in this fight, I definitely want to see where Lara is at this advanced age in his career. Now, going further, it was an article on Boxing Scene today, and Erislandy Lara, he spoke on the upcoming fight for his former stablemate Jermell Charlo. It was going to be a unification bout on pay-per-view later on this year between Jermell Charlo and Jeison Rosario. Now, Erislandy Lara, he picked his former stablemate to win, based off of Jermell has a lot more experience, and definitely I do definitely agree with that. I feel like Erislandy Lara speaking on that experience factor, and then also welcoming the winner with open arms, saying he wants a shot at that guy. I feel like that's more of a way where Erislandy Lara can basically transition later on to say he's going to beat Jermell Charlo based off of experience if that fight was to come to fruition. Now, the Lara and Jermell Charlo fight is something I've been calling for a long time. When it comes to the whole Jermell Charlo, Jared Hurd, Erislandy Lara situation, I always bring up the fact that Jermell Charlo could have unified with Erislandy Lara prior to Jared Hurd even becoming the IBF champion, but it never happened. Now, later on down the line, Erislandy Lara said he's open to this fight, and I'm open to it as well. Obviously, Lara has to become victorious over this weekend against Greg Vendetti, and Jermell Charlo has to be victorious over Jeison Rosario later on this year. Now, when it comes to that, that's also a fight that I'm looking for, 154-pound unification, and I haven't made my decision yet on who I'm going to pick to win. I really have to think about it, but my preference of the winner is Jermell Charlo, for the simple fact that I would love to see him face Jeison Rosario, and we've all become accustomed to 154 pounds continuously giving us good fights. Jermell Charlo versus Erislandy Lara will be a great fight to happen in the future. Of course, people will favor Jermell to win, but when you factor in the experience, the type of fighter that Erislandy Lara is, and the type of fighters that Jermell Charlo has had problems with in the past, whether if he's won the fight or it was that one fight that he lost against Austin Trout, it's a very interesting matchup considering that Erislandy Lara was previously his stablemate, and he has a great understanding of Charlo and his habits. I understand that Jermell Charlo is under the tutelage of Derrick James right now, and he's in that camp. And of course, Coach James added a lot more to his arsenal, but a lot of the fundamentals for Jermell Charlo definitely came from earlier in his career when he was known for being more of a boxer than a power puncher. So I'm excited about this card this upcoming weekend. I'm excited about the card later on this year between the unification bout. And if everything works out, Erislandy Lara wins, Jermell Charlo wins. I would love for these guys to have a quick turnaround and face each other extremely soon. Now, the only thing I'm waiting for now is for Jared Hurd to get back in the mix. I understand, we're in a pandemic. He hasn't got an official fight date yet. But I've seen Jared Hurd on his Instagram. He's been putting in work. So 154 pounds, hey, I'm waiting for it to happen. I know Erickson Lubin, he has a fight coming up against Terrell Goucher, I believe. And I'm always excited for 154 because it's a division where the best actually fight the best. It's not like that Diva 147-pound welterweight division where it's always excuse after excuse and everyone says they want to unify. But we rarely see this shit happen. So, my hat goes off to the entire 154-pound division. That's Jermell, that's Lara, that's Hurd, that's Lubin, that's Rosario, that's J-Rock, all them guys because they step in the ring and they fight each other. Win, lose, draw, No diva bullshit. We're talking all of these guys. I've seen them take tough fights back to back, and it's respectable. That's what I like. Fuck the excuses. Put these unifications out. You know, we hear a whole lot of talk where guys say they want to unify, they want to become undisputed. But at the end of the day, people taking mandatory fights, and last time I checked, unification trumps mandatory. Well, it does sometimes when it's convenient, but whatever. Fuck all that. He has a fight tomorrow night. Jermell Charlo's on pay-per-view later this year. Tune in, 154. Now, super welterweights to junior middleweights, always making it happen. It's Nino Brown Boxing. Shout out to the LDBC, and I'm out.